All right, welcome back. We're answering a question here, a long-term question we're answering about supervision, good, bad, ugly, and whatever, and all in between. Going through my entire career, 35 years, and right now I've got about 24 on, 25 on, and if you want to ask me a question, email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com. Okay, and I'll answer your questions. Okay, so I left you, I'm working a squad, and with a supervisor that didn't really want me there, okay, because I was put there because my old supervisor passed away, committed suicide, and so he liked the guy that came with me, but didn't like me. I don't know why. We used to be partners. How funny that works, huh? You're partners, and then he promotes and doesn't want anything to do with you. What he's doing is he's pimping his assistant to be the top step. That's what he was doing. So anyway, so now I'm getting ready to take the oral to become top step, and he gave his assistant some administrative time off to study for this promotional board. And I asked for some time off, and he didn't give me any time off. Okay, isn't that something? Okay. Sent me all over the world, sent me away, and I asked for like the day before, can I just come in the office and just study to get ready for this? He says, no, we have an operation going, we need you out there, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. So, my oral was in the afternoon. We did have an operation, but I think he had enough people he could have spared me, but that's his choice. Okay. We worked pretty much all night. We followed this guy, went over here. This guy's a night creeper. So we all night, about 4 in the morning, the guy sat down at his house finally. We're still sitting around his house in side streets and stuff, waiting for him to come out. And then he comes out the next day, he's driving around, so I'm working pretty much around the clock, okay? So I called my lieutenant. I told you earlier I had a really good lieutenant. And I said, look, I got an oral coming up, but I said, I've been working all day. I said, can I move the oral back to the end of the day? And he goes, yeah, sure, I'll call him. So he called the board, and they had, okay, here we go. I'm going to sidetrack here. When you go for the top step, you take a oral with front of 3 captains. The orals go for 3 or 4 or 5 days at a time. Okay, this particular position, was one position, top step, and there were 60 applicants. Okay, 60. So they had orals every day, all day long. These poor captains felt sorry for them. And so they wanted, towards the last day, there's always rumors going, if you take it the first day, you might have more chances of making the top step if you wait till the last day because, they're tired. And other guys will say, well, you wait till the last day and come in and dazzle them because for the first 4 days, they've heard a bunch of BS. There's all kinds of, okay, whatever. So people thought I was doing something strategically correct here by being the very last board. No, I wanted to go and get some sleep, okay? I was tired, and so, okay, fine. So my lieutenant changed it. I was the last oral of the day, 5:30 in the afternoon. So our operation ended about 10. I found some shade, and I went to sleep, okay, in the car with the air conditioner going, okay? Found a police station so nobody won't walk up and take my car or shoot me. Woke up about 2 o'clock, refreshed my face, went back to the station where the board was, told my boss, I got to go in for my boss, I go in for an oral, okay, fine, he could care less. I'm not one of his boys. Or I'm not his boy. Went to the station, showered, I had my suit in the back seat, studied, crash studied for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Should have been doing this the day before like his buddy, okay? So I go in for the oral board. Okay, so I'm coming into the boardroom and there's my lieutenant standing there. And he goes, hey, okay, good. Thank you for rearranging. Oh yeah, no problem. He goes, you're the last one of the day. I said, okay, fine. He goes, I'm going to go in and tell them that. Oh, you don't have to. No, I'm going to go in and tell them the board why we're doing this. Because it looks like they added me and they're thinking, oh, I'm sure the board's thinking, another guy? So, okay. So I knew the secretary for years. So we're sitting there, she's smiling. Well, good luck, thank you. My lieutenant goes in. He's in there about 5 minutes. That's a long time. He just didn't pop in and go, hey, how's it going? He was telling him something. He comes out. Then there's a buzzer. It means the next applicant, the last applicant. So I go in there. Okay. I know these guys, these captains, but I don't know them. I don't deal with captains at the time. I'm a lower step. I deal with lieutenants. So I give my board. I give my opening statement. They're asking me questions, and I'm talking to you. I'm very animated. I'm telling them what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And you can see them looking at me, and not a lot of writing, which is, you don't know how to take that. Sometimes you say something, their heads are down. They're writing, they come back up. They're looking at me, and one guy's looking at me, one guy's writing. It's just a weird. I've taken other boards before. Usually they write a lot. These guys weren't writing a lot. I thought, oh boy, in the middle of my answers, I'm thinking they're just going to ignore me. They're okay. So I give the thing. Shook their hands. I left. I found out later on because one of the captains knows my lieutenant really closely, and my lieutenant told me this after I got promoted. He said that when I left that room and I closed that door, I'm not bragging, this is what he said. They looked at each other and they go, where in the F has this guy been for the last 5 effing days? And they just looked at each other. They all went, whew, and they all sat back. That's why they didn't write. They already made up their minds. Okay, and I found out later on, way later on, that my lieutenant walked in here and said, this guy's been working all night. He's working, and that lieutenant was working where I was supposed to be assigned as the top step. He works in there. He goes, he's been in there. He knows the supervise. He's pimping me. He's praising me in front of this board before I even go in there. I didn't know he was going to do that. I didn't ask him to do that. He's been up all night. They won't let him study. He let him know what happened. That was kind of, wow. You know, that's pretty ballsy, lieutenant, to tell him that my boss didn't let me study, which means all the other guys had a chance to study. I didn't know any of that till years later. I'm talking 8 years later, 10 years later. Okay. So that's what happened. They kind of went, where's this? Who is this guy? And I got promoted. Okay. So it was interesting. The lieutenant helped me out and so much. I was the last of the interviews. They came out like a week later, and let me tell you, we had a guy that was a practical joke guy. Okay, he passed away a year ago. God bless him. And what he would do is, he knows the day they're going to call you to say you got the rank, and he would find out that somebody made it. So he would call as the captain and say, you know, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, or he'd call someone and say he made it, and he didn't make it. Okay, that's pretty cold. Okay, so it's like my wife's at work, I'm sitting at home. It's like 8:30 in the morning. I'm getting ready to go to work. Phone rings, and it's a caller, and says, "Congratulations, you made the position." And I go, "Oh man, it sounded like this guy." Okay, and I said, "Hey," I call out his name. "That's not very effing funny, man." Okay, and then I called out his name, and the captain says that I'm not so and so. This is Captain so and so, and I went, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." And he just got real quiet on the phone. I went, "Uh-oh." That means he's telling me I made it. I just, oh shoot, He goes, "I don't know what kind of practical jokes, but congratulations, you made it, and I'll have my secretary call you for the details, and you'll be in the transfer in a week and 3 days, and good luck. And we're assigned to do this inside job, and we were talking about. You have any questions?" "No, sir. Thank you so much. And sorry about that." He goes, "Yeah, I've heard about that guy doing those pranks." I said, "Yeah, I'm so sorry." He goes, "That's okay." He had a little chuckle and he hung up. I went, okay. So that was not very funny, but it comes to the guy that actually gets it. But that's what happened. And so it was nice. I'm gonna finish up the story a little bit and then we'll go off. But a lot of people called me the next day. It wasn't official yet for a week, but it's official in the eyes of where I work. And the captains have made the decision. People were calling. I found out that my old boss's assistant, his boy, they came to work and found out I made it. The guy I play golf with was in that office because he's working that assignment, and he didn't like my partner, so he says, "Yeah, that job that I got, that's my position. I should have had that. That's my spot. I only gave it to him because he's Latino, And my partner, who didn't like him anyway, said, "Oh, really? Where have you been? You're a motor cop, and here. You've done nothing." And then he goes, he got out of that unit too because he couldn't handle it there. He went working for my other lady partner to another unit. He says, "This guy, me, been everywhere. In fact, you guys sent him everywhere, and you banished him from here to all these other places to get rid of him. And he used it against you." And now the guy's looking at him. "He used it against you. All these spots that he went to, he put in his oral and told these captains where I've been. So you, in screwing him, you made him." That must be one of those old Henry things, okay? I don't know what you call that. Irony, okay? That it's giving him those 6 assignments, banishing him basically, screwing him over. He's over there working all weird hours and working for the feds and working for all kinds of weird lieutenants. He just did it. I kept prodding. He told them. He just kept moving on, and so you promoted him. You guys be proud of yourselves. "Oh, yeah, yes, you did." And of course, he told his boss that my partner was bad-mouthing him, his boy, and praising me, and so they kind of told him he needed to leave. And he said, "Fine, I'll leave." So he left. He went to another assignment. So, but so that's an example of supervisors pretty much almost like power hungry. They're going to have their own little regime in there, and when nobody upset the boat, and nobody any new ideas, which is really strange. Not a lot of enforcement. I'm going to do what I'm going to do because I'm comfortable. No one bothers us, and that's it. Anybody that says anything is a rebel. I wasn't a rebel. I'm a solver. You'll see later on, I solve things. I don't initiate things. So it was interesting. I thought that was interesting. And I always thought that too, that they pushed me to do all these things, and then they pushed me to promote. They made me what I am, which is really weird. All these weird assignments. I enjoyed them all. I just made it what it was. You know, what's that thing? You get lemons, you make lemonade. I get that job. I had a good time. I'm off and running. And they pull me off and send me over there. I don't care. I'm getting paid good money. I got a take-home car. What do I care? You know? But they did it. He hit it right on the head. You guys made them. You guys made them. So interesting. So I'm done here. We'll come back later on with some more stories. Now I'm a top step. A lot more things going on. Whew. Okay. See you later. Bye-bye.